Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to KISS Community Connections, 103.1 KISS FM. I am Phyllis Jones, your host. And guess what? I have like my favorite little guests. Because, you know, I love to have children on the show more than adults. Because children they're not our future. They're our today. And when they do something, we need to highlight and shine what they do. If we don't, they won't see a reason to do it, if you know what I mean. So whenever our young people do something great and terrific, we need to highlight it, say, I see you, I support you, and continue with them growing. You know, we all have a hand in all of our children. Yes, I said that. We do have a hand, and we have a responsibility to all our children to make them, when they do something good, we need to make them shine. We need to say, hey, I know this kid, and whatever, I know this kid, I know that one. So we need to assist with them, with their growth. Yes, they have parents, they do, and they need the parents, but they also need the community too. So we need to all step up to the plate, and we just need to talk to them. But before we get to that, I got something I need to talk about, and you know I do. We started we thought Georgia was crazy when their governor passed the rule saying that you cannot give water or food to people in line while they're voting, while they're, going in to vote. And we know there are other voter suppression bills out there. So we've been looking at other places, and we forgot to look in one important place. We look at Texas. Texas is passing bills quite quickly, and their reason is doing it is to suppress our vote. And, a lot of people will say my vote don't count. Then if your vote did not count, why are they working so hard to make sure you lose it? I'm not going to work hard making sure you lose something if it don't count. But see, we changed this election last year in November. We changed the election, and we did stuff that, quote unquote, other people thought they're not going to do that. Well, we did. People waited in line to vote. People voted who never voted. It was just an all-in-out thing, but we showed them, the other side who against us, that what we can do. So since we showed them this is what we could do, the next thing they could do is start suppressing our vote. And in Texas, that's what they're working on. So, this week I put on Facebook two bills. One is HB 6, and the second one is SB 7. So, I'm giving you those to tell you how to go find those bills. Go get them and read them, because they're trying to suppress our vote. If we allow them to win, they'll be suppressing some of our votes for next year. You see, the governor's election is next year, but they're working now to make sure they suppress our vote. And then we're being diverted, and we need to quit being diverted so easily. Because right now you hear the border. Okay, we had the border issue when Trump was president. But all we're hearing about the border. So while we're talking about the border to the left, on the right, they're writing bills to suppress our vote. See, whenever we're being diverted to another area, you need to be over there for a second, but you need to go back to what are y'all talking about that you diverted me over here for? That always happens, and a lot of us fall into it. Stop. Just quit. Leave the border alone. It's going to be there forever. The issue will be forever. Look to see what they're actually doing while they're diverting your whole discussion to the border. Because if you pay attention right now, you would think this border thing just happened this year. Never happened ever before. Sorry, we got the little camps that they're locked into, so we know. So I'm telling you this. Now, HB 6, SB 7. You go to the Texas legislator online. Remember, this is the 87th session. Go there, check those two bills out. Contact your legislator, see what he says. Now, if you have the same legislator I do, and most of us do, guess what? He's not going to answer you back. It's been 10 of us who've sent him the same message. We got crickets. Now, when he was running last year, I think he answered our anything we asked. He answered almost before we could finish the sentence. It was like, dang, he right on it. We asked him this one, crickets, nothing. So you know what? I am one that I don't know how to back up. I don't know how. No one's ever taught me. So you know what? He going to catch it from me. I feel so sorry for him right now because I am going to harass him every day until I get an answer. Because remember, politicians, we do not work for them. They work for us. And once we remember that and get that instilled into our brain cells, we might get something done. So remember, contact these people unless you want your vote suppressed next year. I don't. You might. So let's do something about this. Let's step it up. Because, it's not just for us. It's for everybody. And what we do now, we're trying to protect the generations that are coming up. We need to teach them that when the craziness happens, we fight back. We don't roll over. We don't throw our hands up in the air. We don't complain and then do nothing about it. We need to show them that we fight. We fight. Roll up the sleeves and fight. And if you don't know how, ask somebody. If you don't know how, you say, hey, listen, I want to get in this. What do I have to do? Ask. Just simply ask somebody. Say, hey, how do I get into this? And do it. So, let's get this done. Let's do it right. And, if we don't make a move, we can't complain later. But now I'm going to I'm going to introduce my guest. My guest, his name is Princeton. Good morning, Princeton. How are you?
Good.
And his dad is Dustin. How you doing, Dustin?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So we're going to talk. I was looking at on Facebook because that's where a lot of my topics come from. But I was looking on there and I stopped because I saw a kid on there talking. I was like, oh, it's a kid. So I'm listening. I'm like, he wrote a book. I was like, well, wait a minute. He wrote a book. For real? So after the little infomercial thing went off, I'm like, I got to find this kid. I got to find his kid. I got to find them because there was no phone number on there, right? Nothing. So, I went back to the trusted people of Facebook. I'm like, I got to find this. So I found Dad's name. And so I reached out to Dad and told him I need them to come on the show, and here they are this morning. So, Dustin, how old are you? No, not Dustin. I'm sorry. Princeton, how old are you?
I'm 12.
You're 12 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little louder?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
So you're in middle school?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. How is middle school?
It's fun, but kind of difficult. Like, especially with math, but it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah. It took you to a whole new world from elementary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as far as a book, did you ever think you'd write a book?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not at all.
So you have a book, and it's called Learning to Fly Without Wings.
Yes.
Explain that title. Talk to us about it.
I mean, so when you grow up in poverty, right, you're not born with wings. Like, the people that was born successful, their parents were successful, they had good jobs. Like, they were born with wings. Like, they could be a pilot without, like, trying to hustle and stuff like that. But, like, when you grow up in poverty, you don't grow up with wings. You gotta earn it. So,
That's interesting. No, I mean, that's an interesting way of putting that, because I would have never, ever thought of putting that together. I mean, I got you. I'm following you. I got you. But I would have never thought about putting that together. So what made, pull the mic down so you can talk. Yeah, pull it down. There you go. All right. So what made you come up with this book?
I just thought about the things I had to go through as a child and the obstacles. I mean, I still am a kid, like how I have the things I had to go through, like in the past, and I just wanted to show others how they can avoid the obstacles that I went through.
Okay. Hey, Dad.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
What happened? Where did when your son came to you with this thought, or did you all come up with it together? What did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great idea. Me and my son, we talk about a lot of things. We have like our daddy and son walks, and due to COVID, we just been having them in the front room, and we was just talking one day, and he came up with the idea, and I thought it was great. I thought it was a great thing to do. I ain't never thought of a self-help book for kids, so congratulations to him.
So what did it pull out of you?
It helped me realize a lot of things as a father. Like, I recently was awarded custody of him. Like,
oh, wow.
going on like 2 years, going maybe like 3 years now. It's going on like 3 years. And when I was awarded custody of them, of course, as a parent, you think about what kind of parent you want. You think about your parents' mistakes, and you just try to be the best parent you can be for them. And by us just having conversations and me just trying to be like the best parent that I thought I was, it was an eye opener to see things. Because you think you provide like the best for them, but you don't realize when they leave outside your house all the obstacles and stuff that they face, or even when they're in your home, right? The stuff that they digest and see. So it was an eye-opening experience for me. It kind of humbled me certain times.
So did you see yourself as, learning from your son at certain points?
Yes.
Of his book?
Yes, I learned a lot. Kids have so much information now, so they grow so fast. Right, so sometimes I be having conversations with him, and it's like I'm talking to someone my age. He's very soft spoken, and he don't talk a lot. But when he does talk, I try to listen, and every time he talks, he really has something to say. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what point did you make? What points were you trying to make in your book, Princeton?
Like, points?
Yes, like what did you want? Okay, I have your book. I ordered it.
Yes, sir.
And I haven't read it yet because I have to get you to sign it before I read it.
Oh.
Because I want to do it right. But so when I read your book, what should be my takeaway? What should I get out of it? What do you want to deliver to the kids, and what do you want to deliver to adults?
So, when I wrote the book, I just wanted, like, to help people out with some situations. And, like, the book isn't just for kids. It's, like, for adults, too. Like, adults, they can read it and learn how to get out of bad situations that they in, like go to rehab, stuff like that. But I just really want people, like, to take my advice to mind because, I mean, I wrote a book, so I don't.
You didn't write this book for nothing, right? No. Okay. So what situations are you talking? Give us one situation where you're talking about.
Like how you gonna get your, like, some kids don't know when they're gonna get their next meal, or they don't know, like, sometimes the lights gonna be off and you're gonna have to be in the house with no lights, and you gonna have no other place to go, really. Like, you basically have nothing. Like, you have nothing. You gotta hustle. You gotta sell drugs. That's the only thing that, I mean, you can really do.
So you're saying that some kids, according to where they live,
yes,
and according to, like you said, the lights are out, the water's off, they can't just go and lay down the money to go get it done. They have to think of other ways of doing it.
yes, ma'am.
And in certain neighborhoods, hustling is that one thing they can do.
Yes, ma'am, but it's not the right thing to do.
Right. But sometimes if you're not taught, if you don't know, if no one's ever taught you the right way, then it becomes by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you recommend to a kid who came home to no food and no lights?
I don't know. They could talk to their parents, like, if they do have parents, like, talk to them, or get help, like, from any adult, anybody you know, just, like, get help from somebody. That's the only thing I can really tell you right now. 'Cause, like,
To ask for help?
Yeah,
that's true. That's very true. That's true. So give us another scenario.
Say, like, all right, so you got a single parent,
Okay.
like a single parent mom, and, like, you have, like, she's taking care of you. You got a roof over your head, and she's feeding you, but she want to party, she want to do drugs, she got financial problems, and, like, what you can do is, like tell her to go to rehab if she got drug addiction problem, help her with like stocks, investing stuff. Talk to the bank, like help her out. Don't just stay like that. Don't help her out or nothing.
So you for real? You 12?
It's
Okay, Dad, I understand now. I got you. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
Rehab, whoa. And you know what? You're right about what, things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, but see, what I see, and I'm going to ask your dad too, what I see is where you just told us that we failed. And I'm going to explain that. A mother that's on drugs and doesn't have doesn't know no way to turn, so they continuously do it. I look at it as the community failed her.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because if we're supposed to be, quote unquote, this village of people, then we need to take care of each other when we see an issue. So I'm glad that you're saying what you're saying, because you're letting us know that we still have a lot of work to do. You're letting us know that when our forefathers, I'm going to have to use them quite often, when they left work every day, they went home, ate dinner, and hit the streets. Not hit the streets to party, but they hit the street to see that Miss whatever son's hairs need to be cut, that so-and-so's grass need to be done, and how this kid's doing. So you're letting us know that we need to go back and do these things. Is that correct?
It's basically.
Yeah, go on and beat us up. It's okay. It's okay, because we need to learn. If we're short somewhere, there's someone like you need to say, hey, y'all not doing nothing over there. Mm-hmm. So, Dad, where do you see this at?
What you mean?
When he's talking about poverty and what things need to be done, he's a 12-year-old, but he's speaking as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's good. But he's speaking as an adult. So where does that put you?
I mean, it really makes you get on top of the ball. Like, I tell them all the time, like, growing up, like, I was, I guess, a street individual, right? So if my son grows up and become a street individual, like, I failed him. So I used to always try to, like, tell him that, like, don't move like this, don't move like that. Like, I always talk to him, like, how to move. And when he talks, it's because he's passionate about it. Like, he doesn't talk that much. So if he talks, he's passionate about it. So it makes you be like, okay, let me do this, or okay, let me do this. Like, it makes you think, because he's fortunate to kind of seeing both sides, right? He was able to go through one end of the spectrum to the other, and that kind of shows you the caliber of his heart to still care about the people on the other side of the spectrum.
Right.
So it's important to me to listen to him and just kind of like take heed. And like I say, sometimes it can be humbling. And sometimes it could be, I guess you would say, like, I can't explain it no more than humbling, because at the end of the day, this is your child talking. Like, hey, I was in these situations. I had to deal with this. I was there. And as a father, like, I left them there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I left them there. My MO at that time was like more being combative with the mother instead of trying to help the mother,
right?
Which I should have tried to do looking back on hindsight. I just want to shine more than the mother, right? Okay. But I was an absentee father. I just came around when I had a bag full of money. So when I had a bag full of money, I go and see him. Hey, let's buy you whatever you want. Let's go get you whatever you want. Because I was ashamed to come around him without the money, right? So with me being gone, I can only imagine what was going on in his head. And during these times, like, well, hey, Dad, you come to shower me with gifts and toys, but why you not taking me out this situation? Why you not helping me through this situation? Like, the lights off, right? When the lights off, you like, well, you come stay at my house. I got lights at my house, instead of being like, hey, my son lives here and his mom needs lights, right? And I think it just kind of like goes back to when people older than me used to be like, break the cycle, right? Because the people in my area, kind of like how he was saying, right, it was the same thing. We didn't have food or stuff like that, and they didn't teach us how to go around, like you were saying, and help one another, uplift one another. It's kind of like the crab in the bucket mentality. And I think I kind of absorbed that because the people I grew up with, I ain't grow up around superheroes. Wasn't no superheroes coming to save us. It was just, I guess what society would consider villains, right? But the villains was our superheroes, and the villains told me to get money, right? You want to have a cape, you need to go buy a cape. Right? And the people that I idolized, they had food in their mouths. They had nice cars. They had all the things that I wanted, right? But they just told me how to do it up in a negative way. So, and part of that negative way was, I guess you'll say, being a womanizer and me not caring about his situation like how I should have cared about it, looking back at hindsight. So when he talked to me about these things and stuff like that, yeah, it's like a shot to the gut sometimes.
So, and you know, it's not just you. You have a lot of fathers, and you have a lot of people who throw money at a situation.
Yeah.
You know, and they figure, okay, listen, I gave you $100.
Yeah.
I came over here and I gave you this money.
Yeah.
Don't be complaining about nothing else.
Yeah.
Because I gave you this, and then it was easy for you to walk away.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that it wasn't good anymore to walk away? When did you realize that? Because you walked away from him for a period of time. So when did you realize that was the wrong move and you went to change it?
I guess when it was kind of too late, to be honest with you.
Well, it's never too late.
Well, yeah. But I figured like if I would have did it a lot earlier, situations could have been a lot better. Mm-hmm. Situations with his mother could have been a lot better if I would have like tried to do it then. Situations with him and his sisters could have been a lot better if I tried to do it then. But I think me just visiting, like at the end of the day, I carry myself to a certain standard. Or at least I try to. And I'm carrying myself to a certain standard, and other people carry me to a certain standard. But my child isn't on that standard, right?
Right.
It kind of is like, hey, can you look at yourself in the mirror? And I used to go see him. I wasn't there, but I'd be the dad that come in for school,
right,
with some clothes for him, some shoes. He got the fresh kicks, the fresh shirt, right? And I make him feel good for that second. But then that's just an outfit. He still got all these other clothes. And yes, it might be a highlight to his month, right? But this only once a month, 12 times a year, maybe, right? If I'm coming down once a month, I might not come down once a month. I might come down 3 times a month. Now, me and his mama had issues where, you can't see him and stuff like that. But I think one time I came down and I was hearing a lot of stuff, right, from other people. And one time I came down and seen him at school, and I was angry. I was angry how my son looked. Oh. And I was like, this it. Nah, you come and live with daddy, right? And I think that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like I really was like thinking about it. I was plotting it, but see, I love me more than I love my child at that time. And I know it's like what, right? But if you really look at it, a lot of times that's what dads do because we wasn't taught no better, right? We gotta put yourself first. My uncle used to tell me, hey, you gotta take care of number 1 before you can take care of number 2 and 3, right? And in my mind, it's like, hey, you gotta make sure that you straight at all times. Right? And once you make sure you straight, then you go holler at them. But he just looked at it from like a financial aspect. Like, well, make sure you get money and send them money. But money, it's small. That's just small. You can throw money at something. Right? But if it's weeds, you gotta go in there and you gotta cut the weeds out.
So what would you say to a father who's coming up like you were? What would you say to them right now?
Man, like try to be. I know it can be hard. Trust me, especially if you and the mom is at odds. I know it can be like extremely hard, but time does heal everything. I'm avid to that. Like time heals everything, and just take your time and try not to cause the mom no trouble. Try to get on good terms with the mom, cause a lot of times if the mom upset, you ain't gonna see the kids, right? if you got the mom angry, it just doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Like, you can have court order papers and everything like that. It's just, if the mom don't want you around the kid, you're not gonna be around them. So try to be on good terms with the mom and try to get yourself together. It's not all financially, but you want to have your mindset together so you can give your child the wisdom, the knowledge that he needs to succeed in life, right? Because if you just digesting junk and you just filling your kid up with junk, then he's gonna end up as a junkie. So you don't want that.
So, Princeton.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went through this with your father.
Yes.
So what would you say to fathers right now who come to their kids, throw money at them and walk out the door, or throw money, take them to McDonald's and then leave? What would you say to those dads?
Get your kids. Tell them that you love them. Just don't. If you do that, then that's. When my dad did that, I was pain. I got a lot of pain. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get emotional, but like, just like spend time with your kids as much as they can, cause like one day your kids they ain't gonna care about you like the way you don't care about them now. They ain't gonna care about you in the future. So I'm just saying, like, just spend time with your kids and show your kids that you love them. And that's all I can really say.
But that's a lot.
I know we having an emotional conversation. What is this? I thought it was going to be on the radio. It seems like a therapy.
No, but you know what? Every moment that we need has to be a teachable moment.
Yeah.
If we don't teach, then we fail.
Yeah.
If you don't talk to other fathers, you fail.
Yeah.
Kids need to tell us what they need. It was a group, a friend of mine, he has a group, and it's boys, and they were called the Young Boys of Honor. So they came on, they asked me, can they come on the show? Because they wanted to talk to men. These little boys were all 4th and 5th grade, and their conversation blew some people that I knew away. Because one boy, he said that his mother, her boyfriend, sat on the couch looking at sports, eating pork rinds all day. I was like, wow. I mean, and he said it, and, we didn't know he was going to, say that, to his mother, but that's how he felt. I'm sitting there like, wow. And one young man, he said that he would walk home from school and see men smacking women over in the corner of the house, outside. Mm-hmm. Okay, we knew what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these little boys were talking about what they got tired of seeing in their neighborhood from men. They got tired of that. And they expressed for 2 weeks, they expressed it on the show. So what happened, a bike club, a car club, and a couple of other guys contacted me after the show, and they said, hold up, wait a minute.
We ain't all like that.
They did.
Yeah.
But what they said, okay, we're going to step up. I said, what are y'all going to do? They said, after your next week's show, tell the man that was the president of the group, of the boys, have them bring him to this restaurant. We're going to sit, eat, and talk.
Yeah.
And I told the person that was in charge of the group, which was David Woodbury, I say, there's some men that want to take the boys to breakfast. He said, why? I said, because these boys stepped on their toes. I said, because they didn't know this was going on, but these boys told them, and they were like, hold on, wait, stop, wait. One guy, he was late to work because he pulled over to listen to these kids. But they met, I can't say the name of the restaurant. But anyway, the young men came, and a bunch of guys came. The men outnumbered the boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, they bought them breakfast, and they sat down and had not a discussion. They had a talk.
Yeah.
They had a talk because these men were determined to let these young men know we're not all like that. Some of us are.
Yeah.
But so a couple of the boys talked about their neighborhood, such as your son was talking about how he was. They talked about their neighborhood. So those men decided, well, you know what? We need to patrol their neighborhood. We need to set up stuff. But the men took action at that point. You know, and they wouldn't have taken action if those young men hadn't said anything on the radio.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have said, they'd have been thinking everything is fine, you know, and nothing to do. But these men, you know, like this one man said, he told the boy, he said, "You ripped my heart out, man." I was like, "Wait a minute, hold up, you know, I got to do something quick," because they didn't know, and it's your job to inform us. If we don't know something, somebody got to tell us.
Yeah.
Because if you don't tell us, then we'll assume, and that's that negative word, assume. We'll assume that everything is fine. And we don't need to do anything. We'll do that because, one, I'm not going to seek to find out, do I need to do anything? No one's told me, so it's all right. Well, so I said, these young boys of honor decided, let's talk about it, you know, and they did talk about it. They talked about men sagging. They was like, how you tell us we can't sag, you sagging. Like, oops, that did that one.
Yep.
But they went through everything you could think of, they went through. And, you know, it was eye-opening. It was learning. And I didn't think that these 4th and 5th graders were going to be as honest. Not that they were going to lie, but I didn't like the young man who said, you know, his mother's boyfriend sit on the couch eating pork rinds looking at sports. I'm like, ooh, okay. If that's his description of him, then we know what the rest is.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, it took them to come and say that. Because I can't say that because I don't know it. I'm not a male. I'm older than the kids.
Yeah.
So I would know, you know. But when they said that, it was like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Because if a man says, man, yeah, that's all he do at his girlfriend's house, you men aren't going to say nothing about it.
Yeah.
You won't. Y'all will laugh about it and go, she let you do that? And y'all going to fall out laughing. You know, but when a child says that, that's a flashback for you. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. So
it used to be like that when I was a kid.
See, there you go.
Yeah, eat up all the Fruit Loops. I was like, hold on, we like Fruit Loops too. We want some Fruit Loops.
But see, those are conversations that we need to have.
Yeah.
Because in order for us to break a cycle, unfortunately, we need to talk about it. That's the only way to break a cycle. Because a cycle continues. But when you bring other people into that cycle, we can disrupt that cycle so that it doesn't continue.
Yeah.
So every moment, and I use my show a lot for that, is a teachable moment. You know, it's teachable. You got kids who don't go through or never went through anything, but they're willing to help.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times that's the situation. Like, people don't go through things, and they don't really know, like how to help or what to do to help. Mm-hmm. I find myself having conversations with people sometimes and like, oh my God, like, how can I help? Like, what can I do? And stuff like that. And I tell them, like, once you see that it's a problem, it's like math, right? I think people overcomplicate a lot of things. But once you find out that there's a problem, right, find out how you can come up with a solution. And once you can provide people with better opportunities, better solutions in life, right, they're going to take advantage of them opportunities and them solutions. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, because they're comfortable. You got to understand, like, a lot of people be comfortable in their situations. I look at it like this, right? Compared to boxing, right? You get in the boxing ring and you get knocked down, right? That's embarrassing.
Right.
You want to get back up, right?
Yeah.
Most of the times you want to get back up in
That's
life,
right.
But say you get knocked down, and then your mama say, "Oh, it's okay, baby." Your friend say, "You like, it's all right." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your boyfriend come bring you a pillow, right?
Right.
Your uncle come bring you a remote and a TV. Your cousin come bring you some cover, right? And then they come sit down and they watch TV with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, keep in mind, the fight over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fight over. But you laying there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll come in and out and come spend some time with you.
Right.
Right? But eventually, you laying there by yourself. And everybody else gone. And you look around and everybody else living their lives and stuff like that. Now you done became content with this situation for so long. And the world been going by. Now when you get up, you got arthritis. Your back hurting. Right? You're not in your prime no more. So now you're scared and you're like, I don't want to do nothing else. I just want to stay here. Right? And that's life for you. That's life. That's how people get. They get up in situations and they surrounded by people that's content with their situation, and they comparing themselves to people in the same situation, right? That's laying on the ground too, and they feel like there's no more hope for them. They lose hope, right?
Yeah.
But if you provide people, if you get knocked down and somebody be like, hey, hold on now, get up. Your muscles gonna start tightening up, right? I'm saying, get up, duck, weave, do this, do that. I'ma help you. Come on, come back up in the corner. I'ma help you. I believe in you. Let me show you this. Let me show you that, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. If somebody come and show them that and help them and guide them, then they're going to get up.
True.
But if nobody does it, then they just going to lay there. Because everybody that done seen get knocked down before, then laid there.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And we do need to, like I said, we need to talk about it more than we do.
Yeah.
And we need to talk to, and also other people, and I say kids as well. And I work in an elementary school, so
okay, that's cool.
Me and kids are cool. I do have the, what you want to call it? I hate when a kid is walking down the hall with their head down.
Yeah.
I do, because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say something to bring their head up. And you would not believe I say the craziest things. I do. I really do. Actually, and not crazy. For instance, okay, I don't know any of those little cartoon people.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them. My kids are grown. And my grandkids are old, so I don't know them. So if I see a kid walking down the hallway, and I'm going to say it straight up, especially one who looks like me, walking with their head down, I'm going to say, those shoes are really nice. Where'd you get them from? Okay, now you got to look up to tell me where you got them from. Then I'm gonna there you go. Then I'm going to ask you, did they sell them in my size? Okay, first you're going to crack up at me because you're like, listen, lady, you're too old for these shoes. But my whole thing is not to, what you call it, not to tell them anything I feel like it. My thing at that point is I need to raise that child's head. I need to make that child look up instead of down. I got to be willing to go that route with that kid so that they'll know that somebody does care enough to say something. And also I need to find out what I'm going to find out from that child. Because that kid could tell me something that I need to go and do.
Yeah.
So I don't like to see children with their heads down. Because like I said, I'm coming straight to them. I'm not going to harass them, but I say I'm going to find something that they have on or something that I could say that will get them to look up to me, first of all, and say, am I crazy? Or anything. But I do that for kids. And I think that we need to do that as a community when we see our children. I know week before last, I was talking to one of the kids at school, and we were talking about holidays. And I don't celebrate all holidays. I don't.
You don't?
I am one that, first of all, you got to explain the holiday to me.
Okay.
And we were talking about holidays, and he went to the 4th of July.
Yeah.
To tell me that last year, you couldn't celebrate the 4th of July and all that. And I'm looking at him, but I never gave him any feedback. So finally, he looked up. He said, so why are you not talking about it? Talking about what? 4th of July. I don't celebrate it. So he began at that point to look at me like,
yeah,
no, I don't celebrate it. He said, why you don't celebrate it? He said, because you can't tell me? Sure, I can tell you. I said, I don't celebrate it because black folks were slaves at that time.
Yeah.
He goes, what? I say, black folks, our ancestors were slaves. And what are we celebrating? We didn't have any independence. He looked at me, he goes, so why do we celebrate it then? I said, I don't know. You have to ask your parents. I say, but I don't, because what am I celebrating? And me and him had then we developed a whole deep conversation about it, But we developed a conversation where, he was talking more to me. At this point, his head is raised. And at this point, what was really bothering him wasn't gone, but it went away a little bit. So I went back around again. I'm like, so what's really up with you today? He said, I wanted some chips. Okay. I'm like, we're at school. You can't go buy no chips.
Yeah. I
said, so where's the chip thing coming from? And he said he's been wanting something simple, chips for, a little while, and he really wants some. So I asked him, I'm like, okay. I said, so why should I get you a bag of chips? He says, you going to get them for me? I didn't say that yet. I said, why should I?
Yeah.
So he was talking about it. I said, guess what? He said, what? I'll get you a bag of chips tomorrow. He said, you just saying that? No, I can't just say that.
Yeah.
You're my child. I can't. So the next day I came in, I put him in I disguised him in a little drawstring bag. I saw him, I'm like, here you go. He said, what's this? You asked for, I'm looking at him. I said, you asked for chips.
Yeah.
It's your chips. He goes, you serious? I said, didn't we have this conversation before? He said, yeah. Then why are we having it now? You know, and I'm fussing at him, but not in a mean way, but in a mother, or he said grandmother way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we going through this? And so, you know, he said, he in there, yeah. He said, so you all keep your word? And I felt bad when he said that. I'm like, some of us do. Yeah. He said, what? Some of us actually do. Some of us don't, but some of us do. You know, and so going back to Mr. Princeton, sometimes you got to educate us. You got to educate us as to what's going on. Because I'll tell you this. You told me how you grew up. Guess what? With me, I'm from Detroit. I lived in a house with 3 people. My mother, my father, and the housekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I know nothing about nothing being cut off unless we cut the lights out to go to, you know, I'm an only child, so I had no brothers and sisters. I don't know any of that. So none of that touched me. You see what I mean?
Yes,
I don't know that walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say I'm going to ignore people who do have that walk, but I don't know that walk. So someone has to tell me, you know, hey, listen, we don't have this, we don't have that. So I can figure out what I need to go and do. Because I never walked that walk, so I don't know. Not that I don't know how to fix it, but if I don't know it, I've got to go and talk to somebody who could help me help you, or help me help someone else.
Yes.
And to give you, for instance, is okay. We have a large homeless population, don't we?
What?
A big homeless problem, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
So, being me, I went in Killeen. I went to where their homeless shelter. And I asked them, what did they need? What do you think they told me?
Money.
And?
Food.
There you go. And guess what I wasn't giving them?
Money.
And?
Food.
You're right. I wasn't giving them the money because I don't know what you're going to do with it. And if I give you money, it won't last you but one day, right?
But also, I mean, my dad told me this, like, if you're homeless, why you sitting on the road? Go get a job, do something. Like, don't just beg for money on the road, because, like, you're not even trying. You're not. That's why.
But, you know, when I went to ask them what did they need, and I went to talk to them, because I realized that some of their needs might not be what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have mental issues. And if you don't have any insurance, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them I'm not going to feed you, because that's not going to help you but one day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving you no money because I don't know what you're going to do with it. Because I don't know you enough to trust you to figure, oh, yeah, I'm putting this money in the bank. No, you're not. So I went home, and I realized that I needed to create something.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am, like I said, I'm from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And at home, we did block parties.
Yeah.
So I thought of doing a block party. So right now, today, not right now, but I do informational block parties for the homeless and less fortunate. So what I do is I bring all the agencies out to the street, to the homeless shelter area. I block off the street, and I bring information to them. Also, we found one of the police officers that I work with doing this. We have food, we have a DJ, but mostly we have information, and we have clothes. Because just as you said, some of the homeless, they need to go get a job. But some can't. So they need some help before they get to that. So what I want to do, and what I do, and a lot of friends help me out with it. And one of my friends, her kids are Girl Scouts. So they go collect personal items, you know, the little travel size stuff, and pass it out.
Yes,
but my thing is, if I give you the information now, so I'm not feeding you food, I'm feeding you information. If I provide that, then I'm leaving you with no excuse.
Yeah, real riches is all the mind, not the pockets.
Yeah.
Saying that all the time.
Yeah, so when they leave with a bag of information, so I'm not going to say, okay, I wash my hands and I'm done with you, because I do them 3 times a year. But my thing is, I found a way to feed them.
Yeah.
With information. And, you know, I create the event for them. And they know it now. And they know what we do. They know how we do it. They look forward to it. But I tell them I don't want to see you here at every one. Because I want to see you move up and move out.
Yeah.
If you come into all of them, we got problems. We got a problem. But yes, every moment we do have Princeton for your little self. Every time we have a teachable moment, we need to take it.
Yes, sure.
Because sometimes that moment won't come back. That teachable moment that you had, it might not. You might say, you know what? Next time I'm gonna say this. There might not be another next time. That person you might not see again. Not that something happened to them, just don't see them again, or that moment doesn't exist anymore. You go, dang, because we all had the shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have said this, and I would have done that, and this could, and we beat ourselves up about it. So for you, yes, at your age, you have a lot to teach. You do. You have more to teach than you know. But you have some survival skills that other kids need to have. You have some knowledge in your head that people need to know about. But let's go back to your book. How long did it take you to write your book?
About 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah. Man.
2 weeks? Man, that's 2 years. I'm still writing a book. 2 weeks?
Yes, Mom.
You got, 27 pages?
And some, it's just like things like your goals you could write down.
I see that. So why'd you put that there?
I mean, I think it's important that when you're young, you should have goals, even when you're older, and you can follow up on them.
I try to teach them if you write it down, you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, because the last person you want to lie to is yourself.
Yeah.
So, Dad, once he wrote this book, what was your next step?
Let's get the information out to as many people.
Now, how did you put the book together?
Oh, okay. So, first I proofread it, right? And I try to get like a good flow to it, like keep the tone, the same tone.
Okay.
From it, and then I sent it off to an editor just to make sure that everything was complete with it. And then I looked into how to publish a book on YouTube. And Amazon was kind of like the best way to do it. So we put it out through Amazon. And then we ordered some copies, but we sold out of them copies.
Yes.
Yeah, about an hour. So we sold out of them. So we're gonna try to do maybe like a book signing.
Yes.
Coming up. We just gotta figure out.
I'm gonna help you with a book signing.
Yeah. Cause we need all the help we can get, and it's not. I try to tell people all the time. It's not really about the money, right? The money aspect of it, as much as it's about like the conversation. Yes. The conversation and helping one another, right? I think it can be therapeutic. Like even this interview right here, it had like emotional points up in it. So I think it's very good information for parents and kids to have.
It is, because if you don't tell, if people aren't told what's needed and what's going on, then I'll say we as a community, we'll continue giving the wrong thing. Yeah. Because the first thing I didn't know, you didn't tell me. Yeah. And I will say to myself, I didn't know, you didn't tell me. And you'll look up, didn't you know? No, I didn't know. But if once you tell me, then I know. Then I know what I need to do. Okay, so Princeton.
Ma'am?
This book says The Takeoff, Volume 1.
Yes, ma'am.
So when is 2 ready? When is 2 in the works?
No.
Because you got Volume 1 on here.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So are you going to do another one?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You go, what did she see that at? Man, what did she see? That is not on there. Yeah. Yeah, you got Volume 1 right there.
Yeah, I know. He did like the covering of it. Like.
Oh, good. Blame Dad. Dad, you did it.
Yeah. I think it's good. Like the process of as he go through his life journey to keep putting them out just like steps by steps, because eventually he's gonna be in high school and he's gonna have different struggles in high school than he had in his younger years, and then college, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's gonna be the goal throughout his life. I think the next project that we're working on right now is we're trying to come up with a board game for kids, kind of to help them out with life. Like imagine when we was younger, people said, "Hey, what you want to be in life?" And you'd be like, "I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever you used to say." Right. But think about if you can come up with a board game for kids. Excuse me. They can walk them through that path. So by the time they even in college, they already know the right and wrong things to do. And then in the game, just, throw some hurdles and curveballs in their way so they know how to face the adversity that they might come across in the game.
Okay.
Try to simplify as much as we can. So that's what we're working on next.
That could be done. That'll be a good thing.
We be trying.
No, don't say that word.
We be doing.
Right. Because you try, people kill a try.
Yeah.
You can people can kill a try in a minute. I tried. Why didn't you do that? Well, I tried. Yeah. And then that's all they say. I tried. And they don't give you another tried ABC. They just say, I tried. And it didn't work, so I didn't do it. But once we say I'm going to do it, we kill that word try.
Yeah.
Well, Princeton
Ma'am.
and Dustin, but I'm saying the kid first because I'm more kid friendly. I like kids more because we can still instill into a child. Adult, I don't have time. Y'all hard headed. I don't want to deal with you. But I like kids coming on more. So that's Princeton. I am going to help you with a book signing.
Yes, ma'am.
As I said before, I really will help you with getting one all set up, and we'll talk about what you need to have set so you can have the book signing. But I'm glad you came on this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
To talk about your book. Mm-hmm. And tell us the name of your book again.
Learning to Fly Without Wings.
And how can we get your book right now?
Go on Amazon.
Okay.
Just type in the title. Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, I want to thank you for talking about your book. I want to thank you for having the courage to write the book and talk about what you said, because this is still a learning process. We stay in a learning curve. And if you can't learn something every day, then I don't think you've actually searched out and did anything. Mm-hmm. And Dustin, thank you for being the father that you are.
I'm doing.
and doing what we call a Sankofe, which is go back and fetch. You went back and got your son.
Yeah.
And so that's part of an African proverb. But I'm glad you did go back and get your son.
Yeah. He has a sister too. I went back and got her out. I found out later in life that I had what you call survivor's remorse. Right?
Okay.
And that's basically like saying you're getting out of a situation, but you feel bad for the people that didn't get out of the situation.
Right.
So I try my best to help out. I really believe what you say, like knowledge. If I can give all my friends and family and loved ones and the people I come across, or even the people that can hear my voice, if I can give them the knowledge and the wisdom to elevate themselves, like I try to do that as much as I can. I'm really thinking that may be my purpose in life.
It could be.
Yeah.
It very well could be. Your ancestors gave you a purpose.
Yeah.
They laid down your tracks. And they'll knock you in the head when you mess up. But, I believe in our ancestors, and they gave each of us a path to follow. They laid it down for us already, so we should be following it. But I want to thank everyone for listening to Kids Community Connections this morning and listening to Princeton talk about his book and telling us what we need to be doing. Somebody need to tell us, because I think we've hit the chill period a little too long. And the pandemic, messed up our brains a little bit there, because it caused us to go through things that we never thought we'd have to go through.
And the ice storm. Don't forget about the ice storm.
I was enjoying the ice storm. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm from Detroit. I thought it was cool.
All right.
I just, I didn't get on the road because the people from the other end of the world, who don't know how to drive.
You're right.
Right, because I watched somebody hit a spin and she's turning the opposite way. I'm like, no! But it was okay. So the ice storm, I enjoyed it. Even though it was fake snow, it was better than nothing. So
listen, I played football in Minnesota, right, for my college years. And when I went up there, I think they canceled school when it was like -40 or 50 or 60.
Yeah.
One of them. That's when they canceled school. Like I want to say -60, but I could be wrong. That's when they had canceled school.
Right.
Right. But when it snows up there, it's snow. You don't have ice on the street.
Right.
They have snow plows.
Right.
They have people like the city. The city has everything locked and loaded. You can still drive down the streets. The automobiles are different. They have clothes up north, right, that are insulated. Right. Let me tell you something. I didn't know what a coat was until I went up north. I didn't know what insulated clothes was until I went up north. Right. I hopped off the plane and they say wear a jacket, so I had a windbreak on.
Ooh.
Right, and I had mesh shoes.
Oh no,
right?
you didn't.
So I was very unprepared when I went up there, right? Because I'm from down south. So for the people that's down south, I understand, right? I understand how unprepared y'all was. They have snow chains up there that you wrap around your tires. We don't have that down here. So but what I have learned, because we talk about learning and lessons, right?
Yeah.
Me and my son learned a valuable lesson for the snowstorm, right? Because sometimes a lot of times we rely on finances, right? No matter how much finances you had for that snowstorm, you couldn't get no electricity on, you couldn't drive down the roads, right? So that's where wisdom and knowledge come in, right? Next time anybody says anything on the news about a storm, a rainstorm, a snowstorm, a sandstorm, I'm going to be out the day before. That's gonna be my vacation. I already told my supervisor, like, hey, I'm out. I'm not gonna be here. So I felt y'all pain. Anybody that went through something, like I felt it. My son definitely felt it. Right. So.
But okay, thank you. I'm not laughing.
I think you are. Yeah, sound like it.
I want to thank everyone for listening this morning, and I hope you learned a lot from Princeton and from Dad. I hope you learned a lot, especially the men. We did, but like I said, thank you for listening. But I wanted to leave you with, remember, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye now.